Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Tess and I'm a final year university student here in Singapore. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you how I applied for my international student exchange in the perspective of my home university, SMU. And I hope that this video will be helpful for you because when I was applying for my international exchange, I really hope that someone, compiled all these information and useful resources all into one video. So I'll be looking at my notes from my computer here as I talk you through this video. So sometimes I'll just be looking down. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So this video is a step-by-step guide and I've sectioned it into 4 different parts. So part 1 will be doing your research. Part 2 is the application process for your home university. Part 3 is the application process for the host or the partner university. And lastly, part 4 is what you do after you receive the letter of acceptance. Just dive into part 1, which is doing your research. So before the application process starts, you have to do a bit of research. And first things first, you have to check whether you're eligible to apply for the program. So this is in the case of SMU for most faculties. You need to have at least 2 regular terms of study in school, achieve a minimum of 8 CUs, and have a cumulative GPA of more than or equals to 2 out of 4. And this is, as I said, for most faculties like social science, business, and econs. So for other faculties like law, I think they require at least 4 terms. So do check on OASIS if you're eligible for the international exchange program. And with regards to GPA, some partner universities have a minimum GPA requirement. So for that, you have to check the file Partner Universities Overview List from OASIS, and I'll insert a screen recording here of how you can find this file. Go to OASIS and under International Exchange, click on Useful Materials. Then click on Partner Universities Overview List, and this is where you can find the overview of universities, the number of vacancies, as well as the GPA requirements. So after you have checked that you're eligible, the next thing you have to do is to decide on the choice of country. When you choose an exchange country, these are some of the criteria that you might want to take note of. So firstly, it would be the academic calendar. So check the partner university's website for the academic calendar and ask yourself if the semester dates are okay for you, because sometimes you might want to apply for an internship, but the internship usually starts in the period of May to August before your school starts. So you have to check whether the end of the exchange coincides or clashes with the start date of your internship. Apart from the academic calendar, another thing that you might want to consider is, of course, the culture and the language of the country. So is this culture something that you're interested in, and do you speak the language? And if you don't, would that be a problem? So for example, if you want to do an exchange in Japan, a lot of the courses might be taught in Japanese and not in English, so that might be a problem for you if, let's say, you want to clear a lot of modules in your exchange. And that brings me to the third point, which is, are you able to clear your modules there? And I'll share more about the exchange worksheet and mods mapping later on in this video. And of course, last but not least would be the financial cost. What is your budget for exchange, and do you have enough money to actually go overseas? In general, traveling to countries like Europe or America would definitely be much more expensive compared to if you were to travel in Asia. There are also many grants and scholarships available, so do keep a lookout for that if you want to apply, and make sure you apply before the deadline. So after you've decided on the country or perhaps a few different countries that you're interested in, the next step you have to do is to select the universities in these countries. Firstly would be academic requirements, which is whether the partner university does offer you mods that can be mapped back into your home university. This is very important, especially if you're a year 4 student like myself, because you need to plan out and ensure that you have the relevant modules that can be cleared such that you can graduate on time. For this, you can check your degree progress report, which is available on OASIS, to find out which are the remaining modules you have left to clear. Apart from that, reputation is something that some students might consider because the partner university might specialize in that particular major. So for example, Warsaw School of Econs is very popular amongst the economics students because of the reputation and the alumni there. Lastly, recommendation or word of mouth. So perhaps you might have some seniors or some friends who have went on exchange there and told you that, hey, I have such a good time and maybe you should try going on exchange there. So that might be one way that you can narrow down your selection for your partner university. After deciding on your partner universities, here comes the fun part of applying for the exchange. So just a disclaimer, or more like a rule of thumb, when you submit anything online, be it the exchange application or to your home university or to your partner university, make sure that you do save a copy for yourself in the cloud or in your hard drive, because you don't want to type your study plan over again, just like what I have done. So the first step is to actually update your CCA records, and you can do that on the Student Life Management System on OASIS. And secondly, you have to submit the online application form, and this is where you have to select the 7 universities and rank them accordingly based on your order of preference. So your first university, you have to state a reason why you selected this university, same for the second and third and so on. Also have to write out your personal statement, or what SMU calls it, a study plan, and this is where you answer questions such as why do you choose this university, what do you want to learn and experience during this exchange, and what are some of your career goals or aspirations. So do take time to properly write out a study plan, because the school does look at your study plan and not just your GPA when they look at who to nominate for the exchange. So I wouldn't write things like, oh, I want to go and exchange because I just want to have fun, I want to party, and things like that probably wouldn't give you a high chance of getting accepted. This stage of the application process, you also have to fill up the estimated overall cost involved in terms of the food, the accommodations, utilities, insurance, and so on. And not to worry, because you can check the partner university's website, because they do give you an estimation of the cost of living there. As for the school fees, you'll be paying your home country's school fees. So in this case, it would be SMU school fees. This is also where you can look out for scholarships or grants that can help you in your exchange, and make sure you do keep a lookout for them, as well as the application deadline for these scholarships. Here comes the part where most students struggle at, which is the exchange modules mapping, or mod mapping for short. So just an important note before we start, bear in mind that the courses that are approved in your home university doesn't mean that you will confirm get these mods accepted, because the partner university hasn't registered you for these courses, and you still have to go through their bidding system in order to bid for the mods. So for mods mapping, the first thing you have to take note of is credits conversion. So credit unit is also known as CU. So firstly, you have to check what is the conversion units. So for example, 3 CUs in your partner university might be equivalent to 1 CU in SMU. When you're doing the mod mapping, you can also check out the course data bank, which is a data bank of all the previous mods that your seniors have actually mapped out before and that are approved. Do use the course data bank just as a guide, because not all the modules might be available when you are going for exchange during that semester. It is advised for you to do the module mapping twice, first using the course data bank as well as the partner university's website, just to check what are their previous modules that are taught in the previous year. And secondly is when the partner university sends you their updated course list, the modules that are confirmed going to be taught in the semester. Your university might only release the updated course list about 1 to 2 months before the actual exchange. Once you've submitted and accepted the offer from your home university in Singapore, there's just one last thing that you have to do from the Singapore Home University site, and that is to complete the pre-departure checklist on OASIS. So this is where you do up your travel and safety course on eLearn, download the International SOS app, do the MFA registration, and submit some particulars about your passport, etc. This part is actually quite straightforward, and the next thing that you have to do now is that the partner university will actually send you an email and reach out to you to submit some supporting documents. So some things that you might need include a personal statement. Some universities require a very generic personal statement and they don't give you any questions to answer. But for my university, they actually require me to state these 3 things. So firstly, why do you choose to do an exchange in NTU, which CCA will you be interested to join, and what is your language competency, which is basically how fluent you are in Chinese. Another important document that you have to submit would be the official transcript. Most exchange universities do not actually accept the unofficial transcript, which is basically the transcript with a huge unofficial word on the paper itself. So what you have to do is actually request a copy from Oasis, and this is how you can do it. To request a copy, you can submit an online request via Oasis, Finance and Admin, Certification and Personal Info, Enrollment Letter and Academic Summary. Do note that there is a lag time for the school to send you the official transcript, so do get it prepared early because you know that they will for sure ask you for the official transcript. And lastly, it is part 4 where your partner university has given you a letter of acceptance. Once the acceptance letter is offered to you, you have to check your passport validity and ensure that your passport has at least 6 months of validity before the end of your exchange program, and as well as apply for a student visa if it's required. Do your housing accommodations check, ensure that you have booked Airbnb, hotel or whatsoever. And in this case of COVID, we also have to do a health check and ensure that we are fully vaccinated before we enter the country. That's all for now, and if you have any questions relating to the application process, do leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And with that, thanks for watching and I hope you have a very fun and meaningful exchange experience. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!